Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. We'll presenting about IJARAH THUMMA AL-BAI in RHB Bank Vehicle Financing I.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zulafik bin Muhammad ZAKI. So I will start this presentation, which is the subtopic about the various type of car financing product in Malaysia. So I will identify two types of car financing product in Malaysia, which is conventional and Islamic financing model. And I will explaining some of the reason why Islamic vehicle financing is become increasingly popular among Malaysia. So let's begin with conventional car financing. Okay, so the most widely used model under conventional banking is called hire purchase or simply HP. So in this arrangement, the bank or financial institution technically owns the car until the borrower has finished paying off the loan in full. So the customer makes monthly installment which include both the principal amount and interest charge. So this interest-based system is used by major banks like Maybanks, CIMB and public bank. So we moving to Islamic car financing, which is becoming a strong alternative, especially for Muslim consumer who prefer Sharia compliant solution. Okay, so under Islamic law, riba, which is interest, goror and maisir, that we call gambling or speculation, are strictly prohibited. So Islamic banks offer alternative financing models that avoid these elements. So the most widely used Islamic car financing contract in Malaysia is known as IJARAH THUMMA AL-BAI or ITAB. This is a two-part contract. First, the bank lease the vehicle to the customer for a specific period, and then at the end of the lease, the ownership of the car is transferred through a sale agreement. So this to give customer the benefit of using the car without paying interest while still complying with Sharia. Okay, so apart from ITAB, other Islamic financing contracts include murabahah, ijarah and also musyarah mutanakisah. So Islamic car financing is offered by a number of well-established Islamic financial institutions such as Bank Islam Malaysia, Maybank Islamic, and also RHB Islamic Bank, Bank Muamal Malaysia. Okay, so most of these institutions favor ITAB because of its practically and strong acceptance among customers. Okay, so we continue to the next slides. Okay, so this is an example about the statistic of car financing in Malaysia. Okay, based on the chart given from 2011 to 2016, there was a significant upward trend in the Islamic car financing division. So in year 2011, Islamic financing comprised 34.73% of total car financing, and by 2016, this figure has increased to 42.32%. So this steady growth in Islamic financing is reflected in the increasing amount of loan, which is highlighted by the grey bar in the graph. So the growth has been driven by three key factors. Firstly, about the religious compliance, which is the many consumer prefer financing option that aligns with their religious belief. And second is increased understanding of Islamic finance. So as financial literacy improve, more people are becoming aware of the principle and benefits of Sharia compliance financing. And the last factors is about the social influence. Community and peer influence also play a strong role in shaping consumer preference. So overall, this trend signals a growing demand for ethical and fact-based financial products in Malaysia automotive sector.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Raja Nur Natasha binti Raja ZAINALABIDIN. Today, I will presenting about contract of financing for vehicle financing I based on Al-IJARAH ITAB contract by RHB Islamic Bank, which combines three main Islamic contract. First, IJARAH leasing, second wakalah agency, and buy sale. It is specially designed to help customer on a vehicle without violating Sharia principle such as riba, gharar, and maisir. The first contract in ITAB is ijarah or leasing. In this contract, the bank purchased the vehicle selected by the customer and lease it to the customer for an agreed period. The customer pays monthly installment that include rental charge and the bank's profit margin. During the leasing period, legal ownership of the vehicle remains with the bank, even though it is used by the customer. These structures avoid the element of interest and ensure that financing remains Sharia compliant. Next is wakalah contract. Wakalah contract, which refers to the appointment of the customer as an agent of the bank to maintain and take care of the vehicle during the lease term. This is important in Islamic finance as it ensures that the customer takes full responsibility for the asset in their use, even though ownership has not yet officially transferred. The third contract is buy or sale. Once the lease period ends or the customer make yearly settlement, a sale contract is executed. At this point, the ownership of the vehicle is formally transferred from the bank to the customer. With the risk flag, the principle of responsible ownership in Islam, where the customer only becomes the rightful owner after all payments are fulfilled. Next page is takaful protection. In terms of protection, customers are required to obtain motor takaful, which offers basic coverage against risks such as fire, accident, thief, and natural disasters. In addition to this, the bank also offers optional protection. One is the higher purchase reducing term takaful, HPRTT, which provides compensation in the event of the customer's death or total permanent disability. This helps reduce the financial burden on the customer's family. Another option plan is guaranteed asset protection, GAP, which covers the shortfall between the takaful payout and the outstanding financing balance if the vehicle is written off or stolen. Next page is the modus operandi. Operationally, the process begins when the customer select a vehicle and submit a financing application to the bank. Once the application is approved, the bank purchases the vehicle from the seller and lease it to the customer under the ijarah contract. The customer then pays a monthly installment as agreed. A key feature of this product is the flexi redraw function. If the customer pays more than the required installment, the excess amount is stored in a special account and can be withdrawn for emergency or to reduce features financial commitment. Finally, when the financing period ends or the customer settle the balance yearly, a sale contract is executed and the vehicle becomes the customer's full legal property. In conclusion, vehicle financing I by RHB Islamic Bank is a Sharia compliant financing solution that offers flexibility, transparency, and comprehensive protection. It is a trustworthy and balanced option for customers seeking to own a vehicle through Islamic financing. Thank you.
My name is NURALIA NABILA binti Muhammad NAZRI. We'll talk about the relevant profit rate. This is a type of Islamic car financing where the profit rate is not fixed. It can go up or down depending on the country's economic situation. The rate is tied to something called Standardized Base Rate Islamic or SBRI. This SBRI is connected to the overnight policy rate, OPR, which is set by Bank Negara Malaysia. The OPR is a tool that used by Bank Negara Malaysia to manage the country's economy. For example, they may raise the OPR to control the inflation or lower it to support the economic growth. When the OPR change, the SBRI is usually changed too. So if the OPR goes up, the SBRI and your financing profit rate will also go up. This means your monthly payment also will increase. On the other hand, if the OPR goes down, your profit rate and monthly payment decrease as well. Your total profit rate includes the two things. The first one is the SBRI, which can change. The second one is plus a fixed margin or spread, which stays the same from the start to the end. For example, if the SBRI is 3% and the margin is 2%, then your total profit rate is 5% per year. If the SBRI increased to 3.5%, then your total profit rate becomes 5.5% and your monthly payment will be higher. To protect customers, RHB sets a maximum limit or ceiling rate, which is 12% per year. This means no matter how much the economic change, the bank cannot charge more than this ceiling rate. Also, if there is any change in the profit rate, RHB will give you at least 7 days of notice so that you can prepare for the new installment amount. In conclusion, this type of financing is flexible because it follows economic changes, but it also provides protection through a fixed margin and a ceiling rate, ensuring that customers are not overcharged. Now we go to the next slide on how to compute the monthly installment for the financing. The situation is given. Now, step 1, the car selected, which is the Proton IMA 7 Premium. The car price is 190,800 and the down payments given is 9,800. So the finance amount, we need to minus the car price with the down payment. So the total is 110,000. So the financing period is 9 years, which is 108 months. Interest rates given is 5%. So now we need to find the interest, which is the profit of the bank. So we use the formula I equal P RT. So the interest RM 110,000 multiply with the 0.05, which is the interest rate, and multiply with the financing period, which is 9 years. So the total of the interest is 49,500. Now we go to the next step. We need to find how much the monthly installment. The formula that I use is installment equals to cost plus profit of the bank divided with N. N is period of the time. So RM 110,000, we need to plus it with the profit of the bank, which is the 49,500, and we need to divide it with 108 months. So the final answer is 1,476.85 cents, which is the amount that we need to pay it per month. And this amount is not fixed. It can change with the OPR.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad NAZRIN bin JALALUDIN. So today I want to explain about the three advantages in Islamic banking product ke RHB Bank of paying for Islamic financing as compared to the conventional loan. So we go to the first advantage. First advantage is about the Sharia compliant and no element of riba. Vehicle financing is variable rate financing that allow the buyer to rent a vehicle from the bank and buy and take the right to the vehicle after the rental payment settled. This vehicle financing use the concept of Al-IJARAH summa Al-BAI. This means the ITAB. That is the Islamic concept hire purchase. For the second point, concept of Al-IJARAH summa Al-BAI also does not involve interest of riba like other conventional loan bank. So in this case, this makes the financing free from the element of riba, horror and maisir, that's a gambling, thus meeting the needs of Muslim customer who want to avoid the illegal element in their finance. So what the comparison with the conventional loan? So the comparison is about the conventional loans charge fixed and variable interest that may be against Islamic principle. For the Islamic method does not charge interest and only get the profit. So we go to the second advantage. There's the IBRA facility rebate for yearly settlement, referring to what if I pay off the financing in full before the maturity date. So for the first point, if the customer complete the financing yearly, the bank will give IBRA, which is a rebate from the unearned profit. This gives an advantage over conventional loan that may impose penalty for yearly settlement. This also gives the customer an advantage in terms of lower overall financing cost if settled yearly. For the second point, the difference about the Islamic banking practice and conventional banking is the existence of a yearly settlement charge. In Islamic banking, it's not allowed to charge this charge. Instead, it has to give IBRA to its customer if the customer wants to complete the vehicle financing before the maturity period. RHB Islamic Bank will give a rebate, that's mean al-IBRA, on the remaining rental charge that have not been obtained. This rebate will reduce the total amount to be paid and no penalty will be imposed. This is line the principle of justice and transparency in Islamic finance. So as you can see, for the second point of rebate, the information based on the illustration in the document. The total financing is about 100,000 and the financing period 9 years. The actually total rent charge is about 20,386.55 cents. In this case, the customer want to complete the financing for the 4 years. So the total unearned rent just only 30,329 ringgit 41 cents. So we go to the next slide. The third advantage for the RHB bank product Islamic bank is about the comprehensive takaful protection. For the first point, RHB Islamic Bank provide various forms of the takaful protection to ensure the financial security of customer throughout the financing period. The coverage offered include the motor takaful, high purchase reducing, term takaful, and guaranteed asset protection, that's mean the gap. So for the second point is about the, interestingly, customer are still given the option to use the conventional insurance if the takaful protection is reject or the cost is too high. But the user of the takaful is still encouraged in order to comply with the Sharia principle. This show that Islamic financing not only emphasizes fairness in the transaction, but also protect customer and their health from a financial point of view. The comparison with a conventional loan, conventional usually provide commercial insurance not based on tabarruk donation like a takaful. The second point is the commercial insurance in the context of conventional bank refer to the financial protection product is offered by insurance companies based on the interest and the risk set of the contract. It is also a protection product offered by non-Sharia compliant insurance companies. So we go to the next slide. So the next slide is about the conclusion about the advantage. RHB Bank Islamic Vehicle Financing use the concept Al-IJARAH Thumma AL-BAI, which is the Sharia compliant, fair and transparent structure which there's many benefits such as a legal transfer of ownership, rebate for early settlement, and no element of usury. This makes it a more suitable alternative not only for Muslim but also for consumer who value clarity and fairness in financing contracts. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to everyone. My name is NURALIA NABIHAH binti Joni. Today I will be presenting on the innovation, inventions and progress in promoting Islamic financing alternatives. This presentation will be divided into two parts. Firstly, general development in the industry and a specific example from RHB Islamic Bank. First, general innovation, inventions and progress. Firstly, we must acknowledge that although Islamic and conventional finance sometimes appear to move along similar paths, Islamic finance has actively introduced innovation for the benefit or maslahah of the Muslim community, ensuring that all practices comply with the Sharia principles. One of the most notable areas of progress is the digitalization of Islamic finance. This includes the rise of Islamic fintech platforms and the application of blockchain and artificial intelligence to enhance efficiency and compliance. In addition, mobile banking apps have made Islamic financial services more accessible than ever before. Another major development is the emergence of Sharia-compliant crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending platforms. This provides alternative financing solutions that are inclusive and targeted at the underserved population, especially in developing Muslim majority countries. Islamic finance is also evolving in line with the sustainability and ESG goals through the introduction of green sukuk and sustainable financial products. This allows ethical investments in environmental and social impact projects. Finally, the role of regulatory bodies such as AAOIFI, IFSB, and National Sharia Advisory Councils has been instrumental in ensuring standardization, good governance, and global credibility in Islamic finance. Next, let's move to the second part, specific example from RHB Islamic Bank. Now, let's take a closer look at one specific example of innovation in Islamic financing, RHB Islamic Bank's Vehicle Financing I. This product is based on the concept of IJARAH THUMMA AL-BAI or ITAP. It combines three contracts, IJARAH, BAI or Wakalah. IJARAH, which is leasing, BAI or sell, and Wakalah, which refers to an agency. These classical Islamic contracts are structured together to fulfill the needs of modern vehicle financing in a fully Sharia-compliant manner. What makes this product more innovative is the use of variable profit rate that is benchmarked against the Qadar Asas Standard Islamic (QASI), which aligns with Bank Negara Malaysia Islamic (OPR). This is a clear example of how Islamic finance is replacing conventional interest-based benchmark with the ethical Sharia-based alternatives. This financing model shows that Islamic financial institutions are not only keeping up with market needs but are also offering competitive, ethical, and inclusive solutions to modern consumers. In conclusion, is it clear that Islamic finance is not stagnant? From fintech platforms to sustainable sukuk and from classical contract innovation to ethical benchmarks, the industry is growing dynamically to offer alternatives that are modern, credible, and rooted in Islamic values. Thank you for your attention.